This video is provided to allow high school scorers and libero trackers the opportunity to practice their skills in real time. The items you'll need are a score sheet, a libero tracking sheet, a blue or black pen, and a red pen. A few notes before we begin. Audio overlay has been added to help you with some necessary information, but you should still watch and listen for referee signals and whistles and for the context of the match. Go ahead and keep the same orientation as what you see, even though the camera is behind the R1. In between points, you'll see flashes of the score sheet and the libero tracking sheet. Do as much as you can on your own, and then when you're ready to check your work, you can pause and see the images of the sheets on the screen. Here are the match details. The visiting team, Texas, is playing the home team, Kentucky, at the Omaha Convention Center on April 26, 2021. The match will begin promptly at 7 o'clock p.m. This is a varsity women's match. You'll be watching set 1, and Kentucky will serve on the right. Here is the officiating crew. Make sure you get their names down on the score sheet. Here are the lineups for each team. Go ahead and pause here and get all the necessary information recorded on both the score sheet and the libero tracking sheet. When you continue, we'll review both sheets together. Here's what the score sheet should look like. The header information can all be filled out well before the match begins, as well as the officials' names down on the bottom. And as the lineups come in and are verified by both the R2 and the scorer, those can be recorded as well. Here's the libero tracking sheet. We're now ready to begin. At the start of the set, the R2 checks lineups and authorizes the liberos to enter. On the left, the libero replaces number 7. On the right, the libero replaces number 11. Here's what your libero tracking sheet should look like.
Has ever won a national championship. It's the only national championship the SEC hasn't won. Unbelievable. Could this be the
Player number 5 is ready to serve on the right. Mark her first term of service on the libero tracking sheet. On the score sheet, you should place a circle once the player contacts the ball.
Here in Omaha, Kentucky in the white uniforms. Home uniforms is the higher seed. And immediately, Breon Butler
Loss of rally for Kentucky. Texas scores .1.
Out of Kendleton, Texas with a kill.
Well, I tell you what,
Double libero replacement on the left. Number 7 returns to the court, and the libero is on for number 10. The libero will serve, so be sure to put a triangle around position 1 and mark her first term of service.
Final sweep of Wisconsin.
On the score sheet, remember to use triangles for the libero serve.
Outside, played defensively by number 2, Jenna Gabriel.
Loss of rally for Texas. Kentucky scores .1.
By number 17.
Well, smart shot to start it off by Allie Stumler. Texas is going to be ready for them to bang the ball and bring
Number
the heat.
17
That's a
begins
nice
her
tip
term
just
of
right
service.
at the top of the block.
Out of Floyd's Knob, Indiana. One of the best all-around players in the country. Both teams with good early block touches.
Be sure you have a circle on the score sheet where number 17 served. During long rallies like these, that empty circle serves as a marker for where the next piece of information, either a point or a loss of rally, will go.
Settle in. If you like Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer, that's how long it's going to take. Is it hard to score or what? That could have been a double contact. The Texas coaches
Kentucky scores point number 2.
What did you think about the no call?
It was very, very close, and the refs always do their job and set the tone for the match. How loose are they going to call it? How tight are they going to call it? That was a little bit of confusion on the Kentucky side, and you saw Lily had to get in over top of somebody, so questionable set there.
Best 3 out of 5 sets, first 4 sets to 25 points. Neither of these teams have had to go the distance so far in the tournament. Phillips, first swing off the right side, good high flat.
Loss of rally, point number 2 for Texas. Sub on the left, 8 for 15. Here's how that should look on the score sheet.
There's Jared Elliott in his 20th year, once again the Big 12
and also
Coach of the
on the
Year for
libero
7th
tracking
time.
sheet.
His 5th championship match appearance as a head coach. Sydney Peterson out of Dike, Iowa, back to serve. 8 in orange. Zani Teeler
Point number 3 for Texas.
Unbelievable play, but I tell you, it came from the serve.
Salima, take us through your keys to the match.
Well, Kentucky, when they pass well and they are in system, they are almost impossible to defend. So that's what they have to do. And of course, when they are out of system, they need to be smart. This is a big block for Texas that can really catch them. So that's what they need to do.
Point number 4 for
on the other
Texas.
side of the net, Texas just has to pass well, establish the middle early, and score when they're out of system. So it's always a serve pass game.
Things never change. Whether it's side-out scoring, rally scoring,
Nope.
an all-white ball. How long ago did we get rid of the all-white ball?
No, I'm kind of miss that thing.
Kentucky's passing the ball very, very nicely here. It is legal to kick the ball.
Loss of rally. Point number 3 for Kentucky. On the right, number 11 replaces the libero.
Experience in this situation. I'm very impressed with I know it's a small sample size, but very early ball handling by both teams.
I agree, because a lot of times you see just some nerves and it's not pretty early on, but it's some high-level volleyball already.
Azani Teeler, second-team All-American, wearing number 15 out of Grand Prairie, Texas. Had a big tournament, hit 375.
Sub on the left, 5 for 12. Here's how that looks. On the right, the libero replaces number 15. Be sure the sub on the left, the replacement on the right, and the beginning of number 33's term of service are all marked on the libero tracking sheet. From here on, I'll call out subs and replacements. Record them in real time as best you can. The libero tracking sheet will be shown at the start of the serve. The score sheet will be shown at the completion of a rally with any information from the previous dead ball, such as subs.
Stumler out of the back court again. Crossbody and then away. Beautifully done by number 17 in white.
I love that. That's probably the most important thing. You look at how they're
sub on the
managing
right,
their swings
5 for
right now,
2.
moving it around, trying to change their shots, keep Texas a little bit off balance. You see this one-on-one opportunity here on the pipe, and she goes the other direction for the win.
Skylar Fields with her first look, 6'2" sophomore out of Missouri City, Texas, has had a magnificent season and almost an even better tournament.
On the left, 10 replaces the libero.
And you watch Skylar Fields go up and hit that ball. Kentucky just has to let that go. You're going to get some bounce balls. That's just going to happen. Move on, next play.
And speaking of moving on, Fields was 0 for her first 7 against Wisconsin and turned it around and had a big match when all was said and done as Asia O'Neal, who's got a nice jump float, flat serve, misses that
sub on
just
the
to
right,
top of
9
the
for
tape.
4.
And it's a 1-point advantage
On the
for
left,
Texas.
the libero replaces 7.
So this is where Texas needs to pass the ball well in these 2-hitter rotations, see if they can get Butler the ball. She might go behind on the slide, which would open up the pipe as well for Eggleston.
Raya Walker, defensive specialist, had a couple of aces in their semifinal win over Washington. What a good block. Breon Butler on the slide, and Stumler was there to stop it.
Tell you, that's a nice move. One-on-one opportunity for Stumler. Dives into that angle on Butler. Not easy to do. Drops in hard. No one there to cover that ball. Look at that drop.
Are you surprised to see Kentucky going one-on-one with the slide?
You know, you got to make a decision, right? It's going to be one-on-one with the slide or send 2. You pick one or the other.
Sub on the left, 15 for 8.
I'm not entirely surprised on
Sub
that
on the right,
because
4
Butler
for
doesn't hit
9.
that all the time and that often, and maybe it's more dangerous to set Skylar Fields on that ball on the outside.
Nice choice by Jenna Gabriel to go right back to the All-American middle blocker. Rip that one down the line. Here's Gabriel, setter of the year in the Pac-12, the Big 12 Conference. First time we haven't had a Pac-12 team or a Big 10 team in the championship in a long time.
That's right.
On the right, 15 replaces the libero, and the libero replaces 11.
The top setter, and here is Gabby Curry. What a career she has had. Not once, but twice. 3 times libero of the year, defensive player of the year in the SEC. We're going to see some missed serves.
Sub on the left, 12 for 5.
That phase, you have to take some risks.
You do have to take some risks. Both teams, when they're in system, I mean, are just really, really tough to defend. You want to get the other team off the net just a little bit, and with that comes pace with the serve and potential missed serves.
There's Nalani Yosia, 5'8" freshman out of Torrance, California, has had a big impact on this tournament defensively and setting balls in rallies. And that ball missed out of bounds. Was missed by Maddie Skinner, the younger sister of Avery, 6'2" freshman out of Katy, Texas.
And Maddie Skinner tried to just chop that ball down the line a little bit, missed it. When they're off the net, smart with their swings, keep that ball in play, high off the hands.
Stumler going high, flat through the hands of Butler.
That's the blast that they need on those outer system
Sub on the
plays.
right,
Can't
5
just
for
go
2.
swinging wildly into the belly of the block. You got to take a nice, hard, high rip. Look at her finish. She goes to the top of that block with intent.
Lauren Tharp, 5'6" junior out of Louisville, Kentucky. Another solid DS on the floor for Craig Skinner and the Wildcats. Molly Phillips down the line, and a touch was called. That landed out of bounds. A little micro touch right in front of our first referee.
On the left, 7 replaces the libero, and the libero replaces 10.
Phillips, and a nice job by the line jobs and the refs making that call.
Morgan O'Brien, a transfer from Illinois. She's the only player on either team that has participated in a national semifinal and now on into the final when she was at Illinois. There is Craig Skinner, the National Coach of the Year in his 16th season. He's taken this Wildcats program to the NCAA tournament each and every year. Phillips again, this time against 2 blockers. Good touch by Teeler out of the middle. And rejected, thrown right back. Second stuff blocked for Eggleston.
I tell you, I like that play by Teeler. She makes a nice touch.
Sub on the
block
left,
move and goes
8
on
for
the slide, but
15.
gets blocked in the end.
Jared Elliott, as mentioned, closing out his 2nd decade in Austin, coaching the Longhorns. Won a national championship in 2012. His 5th venture into the national championship match. 11-9 is the advantage for the Longhorns. That's beautiful offense. Avery Skinner right over the top of the block.
And Kentucky passing so well when they are passing this ball right on the money for Lily. Look at the tempo of this ball.
On the right,
Fast,
11
and
replaces the
O'Neal is
libero.
fast. I tell you what, she can get pin to pin quickly. Didn't have time to close, but Skinner goes over the top and through that block.
Both teams handling the ball exceptionally. A nice throw down by Eggleston. And speaking, obviously, being in system, that means
On the
passing
right, the
ball
libero
up to the
replaces
net to your
15.
center, so all options are available.
Sub on the
And
left,
the
5 for
numbers
12.
For Kentucky are ridiculous. When they're with a perfect pass, they hit 560. That's the battle right there.
That is the battle. That is the battle, absolutely.
Eggleston, 48 aces so far on the year. Has not had a great tournament so far from the service line. And that's going to be a net violation called against Kentucky. That was against Avery Skinner, and now Eggleston and the Longhorns with the largest early lead in this opening set in Omaha.
If Eggleston can put some pressure on Skinner and kind of that half of the court with Tharp and Skinner pulling it off the net, leaves them one option, maybe Stumler out of the back row if needed.
Working on Tharp, exactly right, going against Skinner as well. Good cover by Peterson, and then Skylar Fields once again down the line. Is this the biggest area of improvement for Texas? The libero, yes, but you think their whole defensive phase is completely better?
Absolutely. With Peterson, Yosia, and O'Brien, it's been unbelievable upgrade for the Longhorns.
You've seen that on display already. Texas on top 14-10. Coming out of the timeout, Texas with a 14-10 advantage. What have you seen so far, Salima, that's gotten Texas out to this lead?
I'll tell you what, they put some pressure on Kentucky, and forcing them off the net. Not in serve receive necessarily all the time, but in transition, they haven't been able to score, and that's what's been a problem for them.
Coming right back with a beautiful side out. And if you're a young volleyball player at home, and you aspire to be
Sub on the right,
really
2 for
classy
5.
All-American Player of the Year setter, just keep an eye on number 4 in white. Excuse me, number 3 in white, Madison Lilly, as Avery Skinner, number 4, puts that ball away. She is a remarkable setter going back to serve. That was passed right on target, but rejected by number 7, Asia O'Neal.
Well, O'Neal does a nice job just staying home on that perfect dig. They know
On the
that
left,
that's
10
what
replaces the
Kentucky needs. They
libero.
can't just rely on their outside, so if that ball comes up there, expect Getzinger to get some of those balls in transition. Nice job by O'Neal.
Third stuff block already for O'Neal. And for Texas, you see the huge discrepancy. Kentucky, the #1 ranked offense in the country and in the tournament. Big swing off the left. Maddie Skinner ripping the ball to the floor.
Sub on the right, 9 for 4. On the left, the libero replaces 7.
She loves that fast set. They keep her out there in that rotation. She gets on it quick, hits some serious angles for a freshman.
Walker again served very well in the semifinal and served nice pass. That ball was really moving. Off the inside hand of the block. You've seen the development of Skylar Fields. How has her improvement in
Sub on the
moving
left,
from the right
15
side
for
to the
8.
left side changed Texas?
Well, it
Sub on the
changes
right,
everything
4
because
for
she's
9.
so efficient on the outside, and they need a big banger on the outside. When the ball's off the net, when they don't have other options, what can you do? Coach Elliott said they work on that all the time, every day, out of system, getting those left sides under control and scoring at a high rate.
Stumler comes right back, and O'Brien can't quite track that one down. Skylar Fields, number 5 in orange.
On the right,
You mentioned
15
out of Missouri
replaces the
City,
libero,
Texas.
and the libero replaces
333
11.
on the year. But listen to this, 405 in the tournament. And look at the opposition against Penn State, against Nebraska, and against Wisconsin.
I mean, it's ridiculous as a left side anyway, and then you put them against those 3 teams. It's just unbelievable.
Stumler and Trans ripping through the block inside the end line.
Does you want to talk unbelievable? You can talk Ellie Stumler. Oh my goodness, she hits that ball so hard, and she has such great vision. I mean, that ball could be stuffed. She sees the block, hits right inside of it.
Stumler, 5 of 6, no errors. She's got heat. Out of system. Oh, look at that. Logan Eggleston using the GPS to find the deep cross-court corner.
I thought this ball was heading
Sub
out of
on the
bounds.
left, 12 for
She
5.
hit it with her hand, man. She caught that corner. Look at this.
Well, that was an opportunity. Finally, Texas well off the net and out of system, but that was just too good a shot. As Yosia comes on to serve, Texas leading it 17-14. Skinner again. Breon Butler right in her face. Ball set too tight. A rare mistake by Gabriel in transition. Oh, that's so good. Stumler again. 6th kill on 8 swings.
Well, Kentucky doing a nice job. being
Sub on the
patient.
right,
We talked
5
about
for
this
2.
early. A lot of transition plays, smart with their swings when they're off the net. And she knows she has that inside hand to Butler right now. She's been able to score on it. Butler needs to drop that inside hand and not let her hit that sharp angle.
Breon Butler, it's not really a quick set. It's a slick. It's an oxymoron. It's a slow quick.
On the left, 7 replaces the libero, and the libero replaces 10.
Might as well set her high enough for her to go get it and hit around and over the block.
That was a big concern for Kentucky. That's against Azani Teeler, who at 5'10" is manning a middle blocking position. So that's a big ask against Breon Butler or Asia O'Neal. How does Kentucky adjust to that and make it so it works in their favor?
Well, I tell you, if Teeler can dive in the right spot, she gets off the floor. And with that being a hanging 1 ball, she has an opportunity to touch some of those. Making good reads, diving into the angles, she can possibly touch it. They got to serve tough and keep them off the net.
Eggleston, 2nd swing, smartly done off the edge of the block, just like she did to close out the national semifinal. Let's send it back over to Holly Rowe.
Well, you talk about that
Sub
matchup
on the
in
left,
middle with
8 for
Kentucky
15.
with Johnny Teeler at 5'10", but she can jump out of the gym. She spent most of her life as a track athlete, 400-meter runner, and she is athletic. But she said, I know I may not beat that tonight, but I just need to touch it and give my defense behind me a chance.
Thank you, Holly. Boy, good rhythm to the offense, but that ball was hit well wide. That's the 2nd miss out on the perimeter by Skinner, number 4 in white.
Well, you know, they're looking at the defense. You've got Jenna Gabriel at the net. They want to hit over the setter. I mean, that's always part of a strategy. If you don't have a very big blocking setter, hey, let's take this opportunity to hit over the top. But sometimes you're going to miss if you try to hit too sharply over the top.
Very unusual for Kentucky on 28 swings, already 7 errors. On the slide, tucked down inside, and Teeler was late. Teeler trying to defend the middle was late there, and now Texas with a 21-16 advantage and a timeout. The second and final timeout of the opening set is called by the Kentucky Wildcats.
Well, you know, it's interesting. We talked about setting over Gabriel, and you look at that block switch. So smart move by Texas, putting O'Neal on the right, and they're still trying to go down the line. Then they can transition out of that for the slide. I mean, I think that was an excellent play by Texas, recognizing they're trying to hit over top of Gabriel, making that block switch with O'Neal.
And Asia O'Neal loves it. She's blocking on the right side, then she didn't have to run all over God's creation to get back out to the slide.
Exactly.
Put yourself over on Kentucky's side right now. How do they recapture some momentum?
I tell you what, they just have to set this ball. Teeler, I like the ball to Teeler. Tell you what, she can score. She can see the block. She can move it around as well. She can hit
on the
line.
right,
And
11
Eggleston,
replaces the
be careful.
libero.
Logan Eggleston is a very good blocker over there, but if she gets on it quick, she can hit past her fast.
For Teeler, her first kill on 4 swings. Allie Stumler's been superb. Avery Skinner struggling a little bit. I'll give you those numbers. Boy, that was a good set to the outside. Holly Rose said it. Jenna Gabriel, and I agree with that, is the most improved setter among the elite teams in the country.
Well, there's just
Sub
so
on the
much that
left,
she's improved
5 for
on. It's
12.
not just location, it's
On the
really her
right, the libero
decision-making.
replaces
Seeing the block, if you
15.
watch her, when the pass comes, she takes a look to the other side of the net almost every time. Where is the block, and who can I set? Doing a nice job getting one-on-ones.
Texas is hitting .462 in the opening set, 13 of 26, 1 error. Kentucky just 161. Good example, perfect location, Skylar Fields, smart shot off the top.
Sub on the left, 24 for 2. The coach designates number 33 as captain.
Naomi Cabello, one of the top recruits out of Florida, coming on now to add a little size up front. She's the backup setter, a little bit longer than Jenna Gabriel. Texas 2 points away from the opening set. And that ball hit out of bounds. Skinner is struggling out on the perimeter. I mentioned her numbers. That's 4 kills on 13 swings with 4 errors, so she's hitting 0.
Looks like we maybe have a touch call on that.
Did they change it? Did one of the linesmen? I did not see that.
Yep.
I didn't see a challenge.
Sub on the
they
right,
gave her a
2
touch.
for
Good.
5.
That's good. Good work
Sub on
by
the left,
officials.
2 for 24.
And certainly an important break right now for Kentucky and Avery Skinner. A micro touch, but they all count.
They sure do. A nice high swing by Avery Skinner, getting her team a point.
Eggleston out of the back row, dug by Skinner. That was Lilly, excuse me, and then giving them an opportunity. Beautiful dig by Madison Lilly.
I tell you what, that's what they need to do. When Lilly plays this first ball, they have to be good out of system when someone else is setting the ball. A nice job by Kentucky converting on this out of system play.
Skinner with the kill off the perimeter and coming right back on the slide. Asia O'Neal to get Texas to their first set point.
On the left, 10 replaces the libero.
Kentucky has won the opening set in 20 straight matches. The last time they lost the first set was to Missouri. Through the block, beautiful dig by Eggleston. Off the block and out of bounds. Nice swing by Maddie Skinner off the left wing.
This is something that I was
Sub on the right,
talking about
9 for
before.
4.
I was concerned about them a little bit
On the
out of
left,
system,
the
but
libero
Maddie
replaces
Skinner can
7.
score. She's so good with a fastball or a high ball.
Set point number 2 for the 4th seeded Longhorns. Fields again, just a sophomore. The amount of time she takes in the air.
The set
and hitting
ends
off the
at
top of the box
7:23 p.m.
Such a nice job. She sees it well. The ball's coming from far away, and she does a nice job controlling it off the top of the block.
The 40th NCAA National Women's Volleyball Championship underway, and Texas takes the opening set.